It can be said that history is told through details. The lace collars and crumpled hat brims, the elaborate engraving on a silver cup awarded a century ago. And for the Alberni Valley Museum, it's these details that make up their current exhibit dedicated to Port Alberni's Centennial.
It's a really interesting time period for the town that sort of everything starting, all the first post office and the last stagecoach, the first train into town, all the little firsts happened at this time period. So we've started it off with a couple of stories of how people came to the Alberni Valley. We know, of course, that the native groups were already here, but this time period really focuses on the immigrant society. So we're looking at how did people come to the Alberni, not just in 1912, but how did your family get to the Alberni Valley? We'd like to include that story in our photo album. But also something really fun for children to do to discover the history of the town. So there's a fun little passport system that if you were immigrating to Port Alberni, you'd get a passport, and what would you do? So you can go through the exhibit and fill it up with the rubber stamps as you discover the different parts of the exhibit.
And there is a lot to discover. A 1912 schoolroom complete with a costume trunk for children, slideshows, artifacts, and photographs, all designed to acquaint you with Port Alberni as it was in 1912.
There's so many things that you want to include, you can't put them in, but I think everybody enjoys just looking at the photographs and seeing, because 100 years later, what does it look like today? You can still go down and look and see what it looks like today and relate with those old photographs.
The Centennial exhibit will run from now until February of 2013, spanning the centennials of both Alberni and Port Alberni. In Port Alberni, for Shaw TV, I'm Nancy Wilmot.